This is the story of my family's adventures. And when my husband and I decided to raise our kids with the love of nature that we both have and hold so dear to ourselves. As many of you figured out from our first assignment, my husband and I tend to be a bit adventurous. From the beginning of our relationship, we decided to bring up our children the same way so that they would learn to love and respect adventure and the nature much as we do. We started camping with our kids when they were 2 months old. My son was 2 months old here and we were in Calaveras, and my daughter was 2 months here and we were in June Lake, California. And anytime, I know the kids won't remember these trips back then, but I think it was the beginning of teaching them just how to love nature and enjoy it. They've been doing it their whole lives. And as you can see by some of the pictures, any given trip, you could find 3-4 generations of our family, as we've been doing this a long time. From the time they could walk, we set them free to explore. Jacob, my son, he was about 2, and he no longer wanted to be in a stroller or a backpack. He just wanted to walk. So we would go on little hikes, and he was doing about 2 miles by himself at that age. Our daughter was right behind him. When she turned 4, she did her first 5-mile hike all by herself. Our theory behind this was we let the kids explore, and we were there just in case. They were allowed to climb trees, rocks, boulders, whatever they wanted to do, because we knew that as kids, we would have done the same thing, and it's better for us to be there and catch them if they fall than to tell them no and have them do it behind our backs. Each year brought a new adventure and new things for the kids to try. By the time they were 5 and 7 years old, our vacations would last for about a month, and we would try something new every year. We took them whitewater rafting, fishing, hiking. They learned how to paddle kayaks at an early age and have been riding quads since they were 4. They actually were even carrying their own water packs and snacks when we would do day hikes, and of course we'd bring extras just in case. The possibilities were endless. They didn't want to stop. They loved to get lost out in the woods. In 2011, when my daughter was 7 and my son was 9, we went on our biggest trip to date. We spent a month on the road, and we did a huge loop around the Sierra Nevadas. Our first stop was in Sequoia National Park, and we did a lot of hiking. The kids got to see their very first bear in the wild, and we rappelled down a 425-foot cliff, and then used the ropes to climb back up a waterfall. It was a new experience for all of us, and the kids loved it. The next stop was Yosemite National Park. We backpacked the 7 miles up to Little Yosemite Valley, and then spent the night and climbed Half Dome the next morning to watch the sunrise. On the third leg of the trip, we went up to Tahoe, and we got in our kayaks, and we did about, I think it was 7 or 8 miles in our kayaks across the Lake Tahoe and into a boating campground you can only get to if you had a boat. And we stayed for a couple nights, and the kids did all their own paddling for the most part. I think my daughter actually shared a kayak with me and helped me paddle. And anyways, and then we took them floating down the Truckee River, so they got to do a little bit of everything. And on the final stop of that one, we actually went to Mount Whitney. The kids wanted to summit so bad, but about 12,000 feet, they both ended up getting a little bit of altitude sickness, so we brought them back down. And but they did carry all their own gear up there, and they had a lot of compliments from adults that were having trouble carrying their gear. So it was pretty cool, and they were pretty excited about it. So even today, they're both teenagers, they're now 14 and 16. I think raising our children with that respect and love for nature that both my husband and I have has brought our family super close together. Even now, even with our busy schedules, we still always find time to go out and do a backpacking trip, a hiking trip, a camping trip, something together out in nature. And as you can see from the pictures, they still love it. Well, thank you for sharing our time with my kids and I and my husband, and thank you.